Welcome to the Rajyoga Meditation Basic course, the first lesson, Who am I? Who am I? First, formal aspects. Spirituality refers to spiritualization. Rajyoga meditation is about spiritualization. Therefore, I am a spiritual being, symbolized by the energy star. The energy star is a symbol for the soul, for the consciousness, for concentration, meditation, and different other things. People usually say, I have a soul, meaning I am the body and have a soul. In the car driver parable, this means I am the driver and have a car, instead of I am the car and had a driver. Also right is I am the driver, the soul, the body is my instrument, like a car. I am the driver and have a car, I am the soul and have a body. I am the soul and have a body. I am a shining point of light. I am energy in the middle of the forehead. I look through my windows, the eyes, picture below. I am without physical extension, zero-dimensional. Therefore, I am not divisible, and therefore I am eternal. Body identification leads to the interchange of creator and creation. The left picture is right, soul is the creator, then the subtle creation and gross material creation. On the right side, it's topsy-turvy. We need a body creation, but the interchange of creator and creation had consequences. Which consequences? Increase in mental deficiency awareness. We try to compensate for the mental deficiencies physically in our physical connection, consciousness. There are different levels. The spiritual frequency is very much higher than the med frequency, and so the body consciousness is like med consciousness. Is deeper, so we cannot regenerate our missed energy. The deficiencies became greater. This led to wanting more and the acceleration of the energy transformation. Subjectively perceived loss of energy. Loss of inner peace means loss of inner peace, loss of love, loss of happiness, harmony, loss of joy, wisdom, and so on. The loss of energy, loss means is transformed in other states. The loss of energy has nothing to do with guilt per se. He is the consequence of the long journey and the dual entropy. I will explain soon this word. Nevertheless, we are responsible for the consequences of our actions. Entropy means very practical. Everything goes from new to old. The house was new, became old. The car was new, became old. The body was new and fresh, became old, and so on. Summary. With the identification of the body, we as spiritual beings subjected ourselves to the laws of matter. It's a very important sentence. From where is suffering coming from is combined with this sentence. This led to an exponential acceleration of the energy transformation. The loss of energy perceived the loss of peace. Subjectively, we felt loss of peace, loss of love, loss of joy, happiness, and so on. But this has nothing to do with guilt. Nevertheless, we are responsible for the traces of our actions, means karma. Who am I? Now the second part, aspects of content. The closest associates of the soul are mind, intellect, sanskaras, means beliefs, and so on. The thoughts and feelings arise in the mind. They come through the senses. From the environment, they come from the subconsciousness, from the past experiences, and from projections into the future. And from past experiences, we make projections into the future. The tendencies and habits, means sanskaras, have developed from past experiences and consolidated from past experience. Many of them were not purposeful. They didn't bring us back to our original happiness. Otherwise, the world would look different. The intellect is the starting point for change, because the intellect distinguishes, decides, and directs the thoughts. The thoughts, in turn, trigger the feelings. The intellect. The graphic below on the left shows the weakened intellect of many people. Too much unnecessary and negative thoughts. They need a lot of power. The strengthening of the intellect leads to the concentrated own center, and thus back to the original peace, happiness, and so on. If we will find our treasures in the deepness of the subconsciousness, we need the power of silence, the power to concentrate, and so on. We come later to these powers. Now the question once more, who I am. Who I am if I am not my mind. Who I am if I am not my spirit and not my inclinations. I am not my thoughts either. If I am not my thoughts, who I am. This greatest of all philosophical questions cannot be answered with our words from the dual world. Also, holy men like Jesus couldn't really explain it. He said, one example, I'm not from this world. My consciousness is not from this world, but only paraphrased. It can only be paraphrased. Why? Because the soul also exists beyond our earthly world, in which our language does not apply. In my YouTube lecture on this subject, the creation connection with the quantum field, I tried to approach the question of identity. It was a lecture in Cambridge 2020. Here's the link. Here now, two references to the indescribable I am. First, stillness, absolute spiritual stillness, means the nothing. The nothing corresponds to the quantum field. It's a world of paradoxes. On the one hand, nothing. On the other hand, absolute fullness. For example, bliss, supersensuous joy. I very often experience this, but I'm not permanently in this stage, of course. Everything that arises from this nothing with the help of human consciousness. the consciousness is anyway permanently combined with this energy field, with this quantum field, deity energy field, but not conscious. If you are conscious with the stillness combined with this field, there's another power combined with it. The actual I am is the real I am, the nothing in which everything appears. One small example, nothingness appears between thoughts, between two thoughts. There's a small break. Now two possibilities to explain what's behind, but I cannot really, it's directly explain only with such pictures like the observer, the detached observer. The observer position was also at a very important point in the researching of the quantum field, of the quantum physics. Observer, witness, consciousness, also called from myself. The picture on the right shows the observer of a film scene. As a child, he involved in a conflict with another child, but it's a long time ago. Now it's easy to be detached, and because of the temporal distance, it is easy to observe the scene in a detached way. It's about learning to be in an observer in current conflicts like this. I am the white empty screen. The film scenes appear on this screen, on this empty screen. It doesn't matter which ones, they don't touch me because I am only the perceiving me. I'm only the perceiving me. I'm the empty screen, I'm only the perceiving me. But in this lecture I told about, it's a little bit better explained. That is the decisive consciousness, because with it I am no longer identified with what is happening in the film. This is the most important sentence. I am not in this observer position. I am not anymore identified what's happening in the film. I am detached no matter what happens. More about in this lecture I told about. My original soul qualities, the next big part of this first lesson. Mostly they are explained separated, but I combine them, it's easier. Home is the soul world, with only one exception, the Supreme. All souls play here on the earth stage for more or less time. Fresh from the soul world, we are all perfectly pure, clear, powerful, happy, and so on. We have lost this state to the long journey. We now have to restore it in the time of transformation with God's knowledge and help, as well as with our own help. Some of our original qualities, virtues, and powers are defined below. Now, the concentration power, it's an important element guiding thoughts and dissolving obstructive structures. If you are very like the bees around the head, then you have to bring your head, your thoughts in a concentrated stillness, more and more. Self-responsibility. On the one hand, there's a song in Vienna, Daddy, der Papa wird schon richten. Daddy, God will fix it. Daddy, God will fix it. It's true. On the other hand, the sentence, help yourself and God will help you, also holds true. Both. Later I come to this point. This self-responsibility is very important because normally people make projects. I have nothing done. The other was soul consciousness, soul identification instead of body identification, being in one's own center. Soul consciousness is the key to regeneration. This is the most important tool of all. Soul consciousness, soul identification. Soul abundance, in the sense of peace, love, wisdom, strength. If you are full, like a full glass, you don't need anything anymore. Full is full. Purity is very close to soul consciousness. Flawlessness. Purity knows no defects and it is not vulnerable because nothing resonates inwardly anymore. No matter what I am accused of. If there is somebody makes stress to me, if I'm a similar level, I come also into stress maybe. But if I'm in a high level, this stress who somebody makes has no influence to me. I'm detached, his problem, not my problem. Easiness, joy, presents being consciously in the now. Life only takes place now, not in the past, not in the future. Self-confidence, authenticity, honesty, truthfulness. So self-confidence, I was a curative teacher and the main point for my teachings was to look to the personal qualities of the souls. And self-confidence was one of the most qualities, original qualities. If the students had developed self-confidence, in English very often is said self-respect, but I prefer self-confidence, then learning was going nearby automatically. It was very easy because the qualities of the souls by this education was coming up more and more. You can look to this movie or do other lectures I have met in the last time. Distinctiveness. Where should I go? You must be clear and you can know what's going on. Decision-making power is similar to this distinctiveness. Tolerance power, the fullness can tolerate. If you are full, no problem for you. Like the tree. If there is something that's making disturbance, the tree has no problem. He gives his fruits. Judgment power. Not to judge about other people, but to see what's really going on. In this time, now, there are so many fake news, and therefore it's important to have a good judgment power and the power to discriminate. Also for myself, the power to discriminate is very, very, very important now. The power to face, not towards other people, but towards own disturbances and sabotage structures. If there are special beliefs in yourself, and most of them are make disturbances, and you cannot make progress. Therefore, it's good to see which sabotage structures are working in yourself, like viruses on a computer. My original soul qualities, powers, and virtues. Now a little bit more is sense thinking, withdrawal from expansion into essence. we get in the meantime so many informations that it's very important to the essence thing. What is real important for me and what not? Into the essence of all things. On a journey, I take the essence with me. I don't take not my whole household with me. I only take a suitcase with the most important things. Adaptively to different circumstances. The water doesn't find against the stone. It's going flexible around the stone. Acceptance, appreciation for all that is. If you accept what is, if you come into stillness, if you develop inner space, look inside, develop inner space, then you can transform the problem. You can change. Creative power, manifestation, bliss. It's a wonderful point, magic, uplifting others with a glance and soul touch. With my students, I very often experience this touching. I could see it on their faces. Some of them could also express it. But also in my private life, by journals and so on, very often I saw in tears of joy, of love, and so on. See my YouTube lecture, Rajyoga in practical application, professional and private life. Here's the link. Then hold in Cambridge 2020. And then you say practical application of meditation, private and professional life, page 30 to 33, in a spiritual magazine. In a spiritual magazine in December 8, 2018. It was printed in a spiritual magazine. It's also very good to read for you. So now I am ready with the first lesson. Thank you for the attention. Now I will make with you a small meditation. Now more and more light is coming. I hope by you and me. But then the flowers we can see. I am. I am a spiritual being. I am not a body. I am the soul. The brain is like my computer, but I am not a computer. Me and my are different things, subject and object. I am a peaceful soul. I am a loveful soul. These are my original qualities, my deity qualities. God made by nobody a mistake, so also you have these qualities. The more you go into the deepness of silence, the more you can look into the deepness of the subconsciousness, to your original treasures, to your original qualities. if these treasures like happiness, inner peace, joy, love for the self, love for others is coming more and more, you trust your way. You can trust Rajyoga meditation, which is bringing us back to our starting point, to our original deity qualities. If you feel the qualities, then there are no doubts anymore. Then you are sure that it functions. But at the beginning, you need a little bit patience. I am happy to be on this way. I am not ready with transformation, but I am on a good way. You can do the same if you like. It's your decision. If the mind becomes quiet, you feel well. Then it becomes more and more like a holiday without expenses, without costs. You make holiday inside yourself. I will finish now.